Hello, welcome to John B. Sherholtz Park for this matchup between between Monmouth and Towson. Monmouth 11-13 on the season, 1-2 in CAA play. Towson Tigers 8-17, 1-2 in CAA play. Both 1-2 in CAA play, and this is the first home CAA matchup for the Tigers. Starting today for the Tigers on the mound, Andrew Luzak. Luzak coming to this one 4.84 ERA, 1-1 record, 8 appearances, 4 games started, 22.1 innings pitched. Luzak, senior out of East Windsor, New Jersey. Defensively for the Tigers, Heckelman behind the plate. Frank Zanko at first, Cobb at second, Peyton at short, Bishop at third, Matheson in left, Aholtz in center, Robinson in right.
Leading off for the Hawks, the center fielder number 14, Harry Padden.
Leading off, Harry Padden, center fielder today. Right-handed batter, facing a right-handed pitcher. Here comes the pitch. Called a strike. Luzak set on the mound. Here's the pitch. Called a ball. Outside and low. Called a ball. Here comes the pitch. Swung on. Fouled back. Two-two count. Luzak deals. Swung on. Fly ball into left field. That one will be a double for Padden, leadoff double.
Now you can switch back. It's gonna take a second to get used to. You're good. Keep going.
Now batting the second baseman number 1, Casey Caulfield.
Leadoff double for Harry Padden. That will bring up Casey Caulfield. Batting .348 coming into this one. 24 games played, 24 games started, 92 at bats, and 32 hits. Leads the lineup they've presented today with 32 hits. Luzak checks the runner. Here's the pitch. Called a strike. A 1 count. Here's the pitch. Outside for a ball. Luzak set on the mound. Here comes the pitch. Kicks and deals. That one's hit to second, Cobb. And that one will be thrown to first for the out.
Now batting the designated hitter number 13, Jay Bant.
Now batting, Jay Bant, senior designated hitter. Padden on third. Bant coming into this game, 26 RBIs. Batting .321. Here's the pitch. Called low for a ball, 1-0. Here's the pitch. Swung on, popped into center field. At the wall, it's caught. Patton will run home for the first run of the game, but that will be the second out as well.
Now batting the left fielder, number 9, Chris Andrews.
Now batting, left fielder, Chris Andrews. Andrews senior batting .325. 26 hits. Slugging .475. Here's the pitch. That one is called a ball. Top of the first, 2 outs. 1-0 count for Chris Andrews. Here's the pitch from Luzak. Called a strike. 1-1 count. Here's the pitch. Called high for ball. Hawks coming into the weekend having won back-to-back games. A win versus LIU and a win versus Hofstra. Here comes the pitch on the 2-1 count. Swung on. It's a shot to short. Thrown to first. For the out. 6-3. We'll be back in just a minute here on Flow Sports. Hello, welcome back to this matchup between Monmouth and Towson here at John B. Sureholes Park in Towson, Maryland. On the mound for Monmouth,
Food was much needed.
Tommy Kent. Junior pitcher, 9.25 ERA, 1-3. One loss on the season, 6 appearances, 6 starts, 24.1 innings pitched, 18 strikeouts, 14 walks. Defensively, it's going to be Walsh. It's going to be Ducks behind the plate. Walsh at first, Caulfield second, Hunt third, Schmidt at short, Andrews in left, Patton in center, Delarco in right. Now batting, number 3, shortstop, Jordan Payton. Senior, averaging .316 coming into this one, 25 games played, 25 games started. 31 hits on the season. Leads this lineup. Here's the pitch. Called a strike. 0-1 count.
That was a cold strike.
Is it just the remote that's having an issue?
No, it's like it's receiving it.
Here comes the pitch. Swing and a miss. 0-2.
This to see if like this will receive it if you
Is it plugged in? I feel like it's always been plugged in.
0-2 pitch.
Foul ball, dead ball.
Fouled. Fouled back to the catcher.
I mean,
You're good.
we'll,
Keep
we
doing your
can't
thing.
run it from up here. So it doesn't matter.
Yeah, we're hearing beeps when they hit the button, but
There might be something wrong with this.
here, can you hold on, what's that?
Kent, set,
Run down the
deals. And that is
try and
inside at his feet.
see what I'm saying? Like tell him to start stopping.
Jordan Payton, 11 walks.
See if it's working.
Hit by pitch 4 times this season, 11 strikeouts, OBP of 397.
Hearing the beeps.
1-2, here's the pitch. Called strike 3.
There are beeps from that score, right? I want to do it in between things where
now batting the first baseman, number 30, Nick Frankazanko.
Now batting, first base, number 30, Nick Frankazanko. Frankazanko, freshman, comes into this one batting .317, 21 games played, 17 starts, with 20 hits. Here comes the pitch.
did you just try to stop starting right now?
Outside for a ball.
Yep.
No, that beep was from Matt. It's not from Matt. It's not receiving anything from Pat.
1-0 count. Kent set on the mound. Fires that one outside, 2-0. Frankazanko, 10 walks.
Yeah.
Hit by pitch twice, 13 strikeouts, on base percentage of .421. Here's the pitch. Swung on, down the line, foul.
See, that beep's coming from Europe. So.
The louder.
What's it today?
Yes. So it's like it's
You might not
receiving
get
a
in.
reset, but it's not receiving anything else.
Which jerseys?
Here comes the pitch.
The baseball ones?
Outside, 3-1. 3-1 to Frankazanko.
But usually when you stop starting,
All sides straight up. Here's the pitch. Called high. Frankazanko walks to first.
Now batting the designated hitter, number 28, Max D'Alessandro.
Now batting, Max D'Alessandro. Designated hitter, junior batting .382. 18 games played, 18 games started.
The other day there was like 10.
D'Alessandro, 26 hits,
Is it only us?
11 being for extra bases.
foul ball, dead ball.
That one's called foul for a strike.
Catcher's interference.
Catcher's interference, that will advance Frankazanko, and that will put D'Alessandro on first. That'll bring up number 17, catcher, Brian Heckelman.
Now batting the catcher, number 17, Brian Heckelman.
Junior batting .328, 23 games played, 16 starts. 22 hits, 14 RBIs, slugging percentage .522. The ball swung on and fouled back.
What's up? Alright. I'm just going to keep it on for now. Alright, that's fine.
0-1 count to Heckelman. Checks the runners. Gonna go to second. Safe at second.
Interference should be an 0-0 count, right? You have an 0-1 count, but the catcher interference was on the foul ball. First inning zone, I'll be honest with you.
Here comes the pitch.
What was the first strike on Heckelman?
Ball one. 1-1 count. 1-1 runner in scoring position. Frankazanko in scoring position, who has 14 runs on the year. Here comes the pitch from the 2-1 count. 2-1 to Heckelman, the junior. Pitch is swung on for a strike. 2-2 count. Runner on first and second. Pitch. Swung on, a fly ball into left field. And that one is crushed. That ball is out of here. And that will bring him 3 runs for the Tigers.
That's a Tiger home run. That home run is brought to you by Sunbelt Rentals, renting the right equipment to meet your project needs at home or on the job site.
3-run shot to
Now
deep
batting
left
fielder,
field
number 7,
by
Tay
Brian Heckelman on a 2-2 count. Towson leading 3-1, 1 out, and that will bring up number 7, Tay Robinson. Sophomore batting .268, 25 games played, 23 starts with 22 hits. Pitch, show bunt. Called the ball, 1-0. Pitch. Low, 2-0 count. Two-0. 3-0. 3-0, 1 out. Brady Nathanson up next. Nathanson on the deck.
Watch there be 5 mollies here.
Three-one count. Here's the pitch. Fouled to the right side.
I gotta make that mirror too, and then Frank's run under.
What's up?
Here's the pitch. 3-2 count. Called strike 3.
Now batting the left fielder, number 14, Brady Nathanson.
Now batting left fielder 14, Brady Nathanson. Sophomore batting .267 coming into this one. Pitch is swung on and fouled back.
Macy, you can add an error for any of the catchers in the innings. I have to add the error and then make the run.
0-1, 2 outs.
The error's already shown up.
Oh, because I put the catchers in. Alright, good. So I just have to change the rule.
You do still have a foul ball with that one, the first pitch.
That's gonna take a minute to go back and change.
Yeah.
So.
There it is. You should stop watching.
Here's the pitch to Nathanson. 1-1 count. Pitch is swung on, and it goes to second. Thrown to first for the outs. Due up for Monmouth, Chris Walsh, Nick Lavarco, Wyatt Hunt. We'll be back in just a minute here on Flow Sports. Hello, welcome back to this matchup between Monmouth and Towson. Up to bat for Monmouth, number 2, Chris Walsh. Batting 5 today. Sophomore, 247.
Now batting the first baseman, number 2, Chris Walsh.
Towson leads 3-1 over Monmouth here in the top of the second. That came from a Brian Heckelman home run to left. There's the pitch. One is called a ball. Heckelman homered to left, brought in 3 runs. Brought in 2 runs and himself. Here's the pitch. That one is ball 2. 2-0 count now. Count, no outs, top of the second. Walsh set in the box. Luzak the pitch. Hold high, 3-0.
You want me to check that, Eric? Make sure you got it changed over.
Here's the pitch. And that will hit him. Walsh will head to first on that one.
Now batting the right fielder, number 24, Nick Lavarco.
Now batting Nick Lavarco. Junior, 282. 21 games played, 16 games started with 20 hits. Here's the pitch. Called a strike, 0-1. Runner on first, 0-1 count, no outs. Towson leads 3-1 here in the top of the second.
He's a really good fielder. He had like 1 monthly list.
Here's the pitch from Luzak. Outside, 1-1. Luzak checks the runner. Here's the pitch. Called a strike. 1-2 count. 1-2, no outs. Runner on first for Monmouth. Pickoff attempt at first. Did not get a runner. Walsh remains. Luzak set. Checks the runner again. There's the pitch. Called strike 3. That is an out.
Now batting the third baseman, number 3, Wyatt Hunt.
That'll bring up third baseman Wyatt Hunt. Sophomore batting 250, 24 games played, 24 games started. Hawks come into this weekend with 61 steals, which is more than they had all of last season with 54. Here's the pitch. That one's called a ball, 1-0 count. Zach checks. Thrown to first. He is safe at first. Trying to limit their chances for steals. Here's the pitch. Runner goes. The throw to second. In time for the out. Two-0 count. Here's the pitch. Swung on, strike 1. 2-1. Here's the pitch. Swung on, fouled to the left side. 2-2 count, 2 outs. Here's the pitch. Swung on, fouled to the left side. Luzak kicks and deals. Check swing, called, strike 3. Due up for the Tigers, Brett Aholtz. Casey Bishop, AJ Call, back in just a minute here on Flow Sports. Welcome back to this matchup between the Hawks and the Tigers here in Towson. My name is John Diller. Thank you for joining me today. Bottom of the second, Brett Aholtz due up for the Tigers. Now batting center fielder.
Tigers, the center fielder, number 19, Brett Aholtz.
Number 19, lefty Brett Aholtz. Senior batting .217, 24 games played, 22 games started with 18 hits. There's the pitch, and it is hitting to center field for a leadoff single by Aholtz. That will bring up Casey Bishop, the third baseman.
Casey Bishop.
Runner on first for Bishop. Comes into this game with a 184 average. 23 games played, 22 starts, 14 hits. Kent set and deals. That one is bunted down the first base line. It will go foul. Oh, 1 count. Runner on first. Bishop steps back into the box. Here's pickoff attempt at first. It is late. Aholtz is safe. Kent set on the mound. Here's the pitch. Shows bunt again. 1-1 count. Pitch. Bunted foul. 1-2 count. Runner on first. No outs here in the bottom of the second. Towson leads Monmouth 3-1. Runner will go.
Swing and a miss.
Swing and a miss. And Aholt's safe at second.
Calling him back on batter's interference, I believe. So no steal.
They're going to send him back. Batter's interference.
Batter's interference.
Now batting the second baseman, number 5, A.J. Cobb.
Now batting, number 5, second baseman, A.J. Cobb. Freshman batting .250. 6 games played, 2 games started, 4 at-bats, 1 run on 1 hit. Pickoff attempt at first is not in time. Runner is safe at first. The pitch swung on. Back to the pitcher. And that throw is offline. But Aholtz will stay at second.
Safe at second on the E1.
Yeah, fielder's choice plus E1, Macy. So put fielder's choice first.
And then an error for the guy.
Yep, Eric, yes. And then correct, yes.
Now batting the shortstop, number 3, Jordan Payton.
Now batting Jordan Payton. 1 at bat today, 1 strikeout, 0-1. Adjusts his average to a 3.13. Here's the pitch. Wild. Runners will advance to third and second.
Wild pitch. I think that hit the plate.
Yes.
Ball
1 0 count, 1 out. Runners in scoring position for Jordan Payton. Here's the pitch. Swung on, strike 1. 1-1 count, 1 out. Bottom of the second. Here's the pitch. Called, strike 2. Kent set. And deals. Swung on. Gets by the third baseman. Throw to first is dropped. And that will knock in a run and advance the runners. Towson lead 4-1 over Monmouth.
1v6.
I agree.
AJ Cobb to third. Jordan Payton on first. That will add an RBI to his total of 15, making it 16 on the season. Now batting.
The first baseman, number 30, Nick Frankazanko.
Now batting Nick Frankazanko, freshman, batting 317 coming into the game. Pickoff attempt. Throw to second. Called out.
3-6
Pickoff attempt will catch Jordan Payton stealing.
Hey, why is Cobb's run? Why is April's run showing up as unearned?
because he should have been put out at second base.
Oh yeah, my bad.
Here's the pitch. Called outside. 1-0 count.
Honestly, depending on the video I mean, you can say he lays out.
Here's the pitch. Called strike. 1-1 count to Frankazanko. 1 run walked earlier in the game. Here's the pitch. Swung on, back to the pitcher. And that will get by. 1 run will score. And Frankazanko on a hard hit ball gets an RBI, and that'll bring up the cleanup hitter, Max D'Alessandro. D'Alessandro had a historic day on Wednesday the 19th versus Massachusetts. Finished with 6 hits to tie the single game record, which is held by AJ Tinarella. Pitch, it's called a strike. Towson leads 5-1. Here's the pitch. Called strike 2. 0-2 count, 2 outs for the designated hitter. Kent sets and deals. Pitch is swung on and fouled to the right side.
Target practice right now.
0-2 count, 2 outs. Here's the pitch. Swung on, strike 3, and that'll end the inning. 2 up for the Hawks. Catcher Shane Ducks, Andrew Schmidt, Harry Padden, 8-9-1. We will be back here in just a minute on Flow Sports. Hello, welcome back to Float. Welcome back to John B. Sherholz Park here in Towson, Maryland. My name is John Daly. Thank you for joining me today in the top of the third.
They've also had 2 coffees on top of the cold brew.
Tigers lead the Hawks
Leading off,
5-1.
the catcher number 30, Shane Ducks.
Shane Ducks, catcher number 30, senior batting .220, 14 games played, 11 starts, 41 at-bats with 9 hits. However, those 9 hits equate to 9 runs. Here's the pitch. Called high for a ball. 1-0 count. Here's the pitch. Called a strike. 1-1 count. Swung on and fouled to the left side.
Like
1-2 count. 1-2 count to the senior. Here's the pitch. 2-2.
That's fine. You'll need a picture of everything. I would just say the majority. Try to get a picture.
Luzak set and deals. Outside 3-2. Ducks with a good eye able to bring this one back, making it a full count. 2 walks this season, 4 strikeouts. Here's the pitch. Swung on and popped to the right side. He's under it, and that is an out. Caught in foul territory for the out.
Now
Nick
batting the shortstop,
Fran-
number
Franazuk.
26, Andrew Schmidt.
Now batting Andrew Schmidt. Shortstop wearing 26. There's the pitch. Luzak set. Here's the pitch. Foul. 1-1 count. 1 out. Towson leads by 4 runs.
Bless you.
Here in the top of the third. Here's the pitch. Outside, 2-1.
JP's, Eric, that's a tough play for the shortstop.
That's what I'm doing.
Even if JP doesn't beat that out, that's a tough play.
Kicks and deals, swung on. And that will land in right. And it's dropped.
No error because he did not advance.
Schmidt will not advance. That is a single into right center. Now batting,
The center fielder, number 14, Harry Patton.
Harry Padden, center fielder. There's the pitch. Swung on to first. 1 out. And 2 outs. Double play to end the inning. Towson leads here in the top of the third. We'll be back in just a minute here on Flow Sports. Leading off, Brian Heckelman. 1 home run today. And that started the scoring for the Tigers. 3 runs in the first, 2 in the second. Kent set, here's the pitch. Outside, 1-0. There's the pitch, called low. 2-0 count now. 2-0 count for the leadoff. That one is called a strike. 2-1 count for Heckelman. Here's the pitch. Swung on, popped, foul to the right side. Two count. 2-2 count for the junior. Pitch is swung on, fouled, left side. Pitch is Called low, full count. Full count to the junior. 9 walks, 11 strikeouts, on base percentage of .418. Is foul ball. Here comes the pitch from Kent. Swung on. Flied into center field, tracking back. That one will bounce off the bottom of the wall. And that will put the runner at second with a leadoff double from Brian Heckelman.
Now batting the right fielder, number 7, Tay Robinson.
Now batting number 7, sophomore Tay Robinson. Robinson right field. Robinson playing right field today. 18 RBIs, 463 slugging percentage and 365 OBP. That one is called foul. 0-1 count. Runner on second. Kent. Looking in. Checks the runner. Kicks and deals. Foul ball. 0-2. No outs. Here's the pitch from Kent. Outside, 1-2.
Warming up in the bullpen for Monmouth is number 27, Brendan Keneally.
Here's the pitch.
For Monmouth, number 27, Keneally.
Side. Movement in the bullpen for Monmouth. It's number 27. Here's the pitch. That one is fouled. Brendan Keneally in the bullpen, junior. Here's the pitch. Drop ball, full count. Kent checks the runner, sets, deals, swung on. That goes to short. The throw to first is in time for the out.
Now batting the left fielder, number 14, Brady Nathanson.
Now batting number 14, left fielder Brady Nathanson. Kent sets and deals. Swung on. Strike one. 0-1 count. 1 out. Bottom of the third. Towson leads by 4. Score 5-1. Here's the pitch. Called low. 1-1. Here's the pitch from Kent. Swung on. Foul back. One, 2, 1 out. Runner in scoring position on second. Kent checks the runner. Fires that one in there. Swinging. Strike 3 for the out.
batting is center fielder number 19, Brett Ahall.
Now batting Brett Ahall, number 17, senior. Batting 226 as an average. 1 for 1 today. Here's the pitch. Wild pitch. Runner will advance to third, 1-0 count. Heckelman will advance to third on that.
Yeah, Lucas, how could you do that to Rip?
He's gonna say something.
Now, if he doesn't get the base, it's going to be your fault.
6 RBIs on the season for Ahall. That one is called a strike, 1-1 count. Runner on third. Runner on third for the senior. 18 hits, 6 RBIs. Here's the pitch. Swung, strike 2.
This isn't looking good for you. Ryan's giving you side eye.
Kent sets and deals. Swinging, strike 3 for the third out. Due up for the Hawks. Casey Caulfield, Jay Bant, Chris Andrews. We'll be back here in just a minute on Flow Sports. Welcome back here, top of the 5th inning. Up to bat, Casey
Leading off for the Hawks, the
Caulfield.
second baseman number 1, Casey Caulfield.
He is leading off today, 0 for 1 today against Andrew Luzak. Luzak looks in. Deals. Called, strike 1. Here in the top of the 4th, Towson leads 5-1. 3 runs in the first for Towson, 1 run for Monmouth in the first, and then 2 runs in the second. Here's the pitch. That one's outside. 2 runs in the second for Towson, and none for Monmouth. 3rd inning, no runs for either side. 1-1 count. Here's the pitch. Called 2-1. 2-1 count. Luzak steps in. Caulfield set in the box. That one is outside. 3-1. Caulfield reached base in 20 straight games. So if he walks here, he will reach base, and he is also a threat to run. Here's a pitch. That one called 3-2. He struck out swinging last time. Full count. Here's the pitch. That one is swung on. Goes to second. Picked up. Thrown to first for the out.
Now batting the designated hitter number 13, Jay Bant.
Now batting designated hitter number 13, Jay Bant. Here's the pitch from Luzak. Called outside. Jay Bant walked his last time up. 1 RBI. Here's the pitch. On his inside. Jay Bant labeled no at bats, no hits, but 1 RBI. Here's the pitch. Swung on. Fouled to the left side. Here's the pitch. Way outside. Tried the corner and missed.
Yeah,
3-1 count to Bant. Luzak set. Here's the pitch. Swung on. That is flied into center for an out.
Now batting the left fielder number 9, Chris Andrews.
Now batting Chris Andrews. That one is outside, called. Ball 1. 1-0 count now. One 0 count. Here's the pitch. Called. Strike 1. 1-1 now. One. Sets, deals, swung on, fouled back.
That's what it takes for me. Do you not just caffeine on?
Very specific.
I got him at PJ's and I was like, oh, these are gas.
I get a large snack for myself.
1-2 count. Luzak ahead.
I know.
That one is behind Andrews. Andrews 0 for 1 today. Average of 321.
Yeah, that bite ain't really biting.
Is it just looking at it?
Andrews steps back in. Luzak set on the mound. Here's the pitch. Swung on. Foul ball to the left side into the Towson bullpen.
Giving them some fielding practice.
Here's the pitch.
I was watching it. The camera's frozen. And then it picked up again. As soon as you plugged it back in. God, Eric.
Here's the pitch. Outside. Ball
Go
4.
back to the camera and make sure it's working. Okay. You good. Eric, have you seen the Fanatics opening day photo? It is wrong in so many ways.
Balls. Here's the
Is that the one
pitch.
that has all the logos on it? Is it?
They're promoting opening day. What do you see wrong with this photo?
Those
1-0 count to Walsh.
players, and it's also the Twins. Wait, no.
They're promoting the Twins. What hat is he wearing?
Is that a Guardians hat? Yes.
What ballpark are they in?
Who's exit?
Is that Cleveland?
That's Camden Yards.
It's Camden Yards? Yes.
Called
I've
1-1.
been to enough Camden Yards games to know that's Camden Yards.
There's a lot wrong with that.
1-1, 2 outs. Runner on first for Walsh.
Guardians hat on, and that's at Camden Yards. That
Chris
is not
Andrews.
Apples.
Considered a threat to run.
What?
Pickoff attempt.
That's marketing.
Andrews safe at first.
Well, see, it's a Fanatics ad, so they're trying to promote all the teams.
But then have them in Camden Yards instead of Minneapolis? The fact that I knew it was Camden Yards right away is
Here's the pitch.
that's pretty impressive.
Swung on, fly ball to center field. Or right center, and it is caught. Diving play by Robinson. Say Robinson, diving catch, 10th inning, due up. Casey Bishop, AJ Kolb, Jordan Payton. We'll be back here in just a minute and a half here on Flow Sports. Welcome back here, bottom of the fourth. Towson leads Monmouth 4-1, or 5-1, 4-run lead. First pitch was called a strike. Here's the second one. Called strike 2. 0-2 count to Casey. 0-2 count to junior Casey Bishop.
Where's the beef?
Here's the pitch. Called strike 3 looking.
Now batting the second baseman, number 5, AJ Cobb.
Now batting second baseman, number 5, AJ Cobb. Cobb, a freshman. 1 for 1 today. There's the that one is popped out to the catcher in foul territory. Now batting, Jordan Payton,
Now batting the
senior
shortstop, number 3,
shortstop.
Jordan Payton.
Payton 1 for 2 today, 1 strikeout, 1 hit. Here's the pitch. Outside, 1-0. Here's the pitch. That one a shot to short. Thrown to first for the third out. 1-2-3 inning. We'll be back here in just a minute on Flow Sports. Welcome back to this CAA matchup between Towson and Monmouth. Now batting, number 24, right fielder Nick Lorco.
Okay.
Larco's set in the box. Luzak the pitch. Barco able to duck under that one. Here's the pitch from Luzak. Swung on, foul, 1-0 count, or 1-1 count. Luzak looks in, sets. That ball is swung on and crushed deep at the wall, caught! And what a catch in the warning track by Nathanson. Jumping catch in left field. Now batting number 3, third baseman Wyatt Hunt. There's the pitch. It's outside. 1-0 count now. 1 out with the big catch from Nathanson. Here's the pitch. Outside, 2-0. Hunt today struck out in his first at bat. Here's the pitch. Swung on, caught at third base.
Now batting the catcher, number 30, Shane Ducks.
Shane Ducks up to bat. Here's the pitch. Swung on. Hit to second. Thrown to first. 1, 2, 3. Tigers lead 4. We will be back in just a minute here on Flow Sports. Welcome back here, bottom of the 5th. Now up for the Tigers, Max D'Alessandro.
Leading off for the Tigers, the first baseman, number 30, Nick Frankazanko.
Oh, sorry. My mistake. Batting batting leadoff Nick Frankazanko. Here's the pitch. Inside on Frankazanko. 1-0 count. Here's the pitch. Swung on. Hot shot to first. And taken right to the bag. 1 out.
Now batting the designated hitter, number 28, Max D'Alessandro.
Now batting number 28, Max D'Alessandro. Here's the pitch. Ball 1. Looks like something might have happened there.
Quick check on the catcher.
Checking on the catcher here.
Yeah, Emery typically no.
They're checking on Ducks.
Favorite argument? Sure. Injury.
That's when you play this, the song about fighting.
I just kind of assume
You don't want to hear.
Oh, I guess.
You're gonna hear it anyway here.
most of the time I agree with you. Just didn't.
Shane Ducks will stay in the game.
That's when you play the song, "The waiting is the hardest part."
Max D'Alessandro steps back in. 1 for 1 today, 1 run, 1 RBI, 1 walk. Here's the pitch. That one is foul.
That's what my
1-1.
team lineup song was for that. If the pitcher
1-1
pulled
count, 1 out. Here's the pitch.
play, you had a bad day. Yeah. It's a great one. And then
2-1 count now.
for a while.
2-1, 1 out, bottom of the 5th here. Towson leads by 4, 5-1 over Monmouth. Here's the pitch. Called high, 3-1. D'Alessandro doesn't walk much. Slugging percentage 79. 6 walks, 4 hit by pitch, 19 strikeouts. OBP of 456. Here's the pitch. And that is hit by pitch number 5 on the season. D'Alessandro will take first.
Now batting the catcher, number 17, Brian Heckelman.
Brian Heckelman. 3 home runs on the year, one of them today.
Bullpen for Monmouth is number 27, Brandon Keneally.
You got to like this over here.
In the bullpen for Monmouth, number 27, Keneally.
Here's the pitch. That one called the ball.
Coming out in the bullpen for Towson is number 45, Matt Likas.
Matt Likas, number 45, warming up for Towson. Number 27, Brendan Keneally in the bullpen for Monmouth, warming up. Here's the pitch, swung on, popped, foul right side, completely out of play. 1-1 count, 1 out. One out for number 17. Here's the pitch. 2-1.
Do it trouble because then we give out another jersey.
It's not transit, folks.
Here comes the pitch from Kent. Fouled to the left side. 2-2 count. 2-2, 1 out, runner on first. Here's the pitch. Swung on into the gap between first and second. That is a single for Brian Heckelman.
Now batting the right fielder, number 7, Tay Robinson.
Now batting number 7, Tay Robinson. Brian Heckelman a triple away from the cycle. Tay Robinson steps in, ready to face Kent. Tommy Kent sends deals. That one is swung on. Fly ball to center. It will fall. 1 run will score. 2 runs will score on the double for the Tigers. 7-1 lead.
Now batting the left fielder, number 14, Brady Nathanson.
Now batting Brady Nathanson, left fielder. 1 out. Runner on second for Nathanson. And they are going to call a mound visit here.
I'm pretty sure Dean doesn't know, but some teams.
Monmouth calling a mound visit. Tigers have been really good with runners on today. Not many left stranded. And there's the signal. And that will bring in number 27, Brendan Neely. Neely, a pitcher, junior at Yorktown Heights, New Jersey. Brendan Neely. Stepping in.
Coming to pitch for the Hawks, number 27, Brendan Keneally.
Brendan Keneally. Started warming up back in the second, just about. Brendan Keneally coming into this game today, 7.64 ERA. Nah. That will bring back Brady Matheson into bat. Tay Robinson on second. Matheson up to bat. Matheson 7 RBIs on the year. That one's called strike 1.
Was that? Let me just awkwardly stare at this dude for
Pickoff attempt at second. Tay Robinson safe. Here's the pitch from Keneally. That one is wild. Tay Robinson will move up to third.
What was the strike call? Was it call? Called strike and a ball.
1-1 count now.
I mean, he's got it set up perfectly. I know.
Swung on, fouled back. 1-2 count.
He's touching his screen too much.
1-2 count. Here's the pitch. That is swung on and hit. Fair ball. That one is called fair, and that one is called an out. 2 outs now.
Now batting the center fielder, number 19, Brett Ahol.
Brett Aholt up to bat. Brett Aholt facing Keneally. Here's the pitch. And he hits him. Brendan Keneally hits him.
Baseman, number 8, Casey Bishop.
That'll bring up Casey Bishop. Casey Bishop up to bat. Pickoff attempt. Calls him out for the third. Due up. Schmid. Padden. Caulfield. We'll be back in a minute here on Flow Sports. Now batting, shortstop Andrew Schmid. Schmid steps in. Luzak looks in. Is called outside, 1-0 count. Here's the pitch.
Just checking to see if this guy's live streaming or just taking a video. It's 2-0.
2-0 count. Here's the pitch. 3-0 count.
I like how he stands behind him and goes. bounces back the same exact way.
3-0.
He should be a PI.
Call to strike 3-1.
He's got a future in that business.
Three one count. Here's the pitch. Called outside, ball 4.
He just walked and he stood and just stared right behind me. He's like, nah, y'all are good.
Now batting the center fielder number 14, Harry Patton.
Now batting center fielder 14, Harry Patton. Senior came into this game averaging 286. Here's the pitch. Called high for a ball, 1-0.
Or 7, excuse me, 7. I didn't know if the CAA had chosen that or not.
Here's the pitch.
Since we didn't do that last year.
Inside, 2-0.
Yeah, last year that wasn't the league rule, so we could just go to 9. This year now it's a league rule, which is nice.
Might have been just go like this.
Checks the runner. Runner advances. Here's the pitch. Ball to strike. I misspoke. The runner took a bigger lead, not advances. Excuse me.
You could definitely be a private investigator. That was great.
2-1. Runner on first, no outs. Here's the pitch. Swung on. Popped up. Foul. And caught for an out.
Shit, Eric.
Now batting the second baseman number 1, Casey Caulfield.
Now batting, Casey
Thank
Caulfield.
you for going, though. I appreciate it.
Caulfield still looking to get on base. Here's the pitch. Call to strike.
Is this guy Shoto shuffling after the balls? Did I just watch him do that?
Here's the pitch. Called strike 2. Oh, 2, 1 out here in the top of the 6th. Towson 7-1. Here's the pitch. Swung on, straight to short, steps on second, throw to first, and that's a double play. Due up, Bishop, Cobb, Peyton for the Tigers. We'll be back in just a minute here on Flow Sports. Welcome back to John B. Sherholz Park. My name is John Daly. I'm happy that you joined us today here. Bishop up to bat for the Tigers, pitching Brendan Keneally. 2 batters faced, 0.2 innings pitched. Today came in relief in the previous inning for Tommy Kent. Bishop, the 8th batter in the order. After him, it's Cobb, and then the order starts again with Peyton.
Normally I would put no, but
Here's the pitch from McNeely. Swung on, foul to the left side.
Just a quick glance. Not a bit scary.
McNeely looks in. Sets and fires that one outside. Here's the pitch. 2-1. 2-1 count, no outs. Towson leads 7-1. Scored 3 in the first, 2 in the second, 2 in the fifth. Here's the pitch. Call the ball, 3-1 count. Bishop this season, 12 strikeouts, 11 walks. Knows how to work a count and knows how to work it well. Here's the pitch. Swung on. Back off the pitcher. Picked up at second. Thrown to first for the out.
Now batting the second baseman, number 5, A.J. Cobb.
Now batting A.J. Cobb. Freshman. Cobb, 1 run today. Here's the pitch. Swung on. Fouled to the right side. Oh, 1 count. Here's the pitch. Called. Strike 2. Bottom of the 6th. 1 out. 0-2 count for Cobb. Here's the pitch. 1-2. Here's the pitch. Almost got him. 2-2 count now. 2-2 to Cobb. Steps back in. Keneally set. Keneally deals. Swung on. Hit to third. Picked up. And that throw goes wide. Cobb will stay at first. That is a throwing error over at third by Hunt.
Now batting the shortstop, number 3, Jordan Payton.
That'll bring up shortstop Jordan Payton. Payton 15 RBIs this season. Runner on first, 1 out. Payton 1 for 3 today, 1 hit, 1 strikeout, 1 RBI. Checks the runner. Cobb gets back in time, safe. Keneally steps back in. Here's the pitch. Swung on, foul ball to the right side. Bottom of the 6th, Towson leads 7-1. Here's the pitch. Swung on. Fouled back to the steps.
She got there. That's perfect. I don't know what you're talking about.
Checks the runner at first. He is safe. 0-2 count. Oh, 2. Here's the pitch. Swung on. Goes off the pitcher. Gonna get Cobb at second. Runner is safe at first. Cobb is out at second.
Now batting
Peyton
the first
safe at
baseman,
first.
number 30, Nick Frankizenko.
Now batting number 30.
Eric, Amazon delivery is calling me again.
Here's the pitch. Called a strike. 0-1 count now. Frank Kazanko, 1 for 2 today. 1 hit, 1 run, 1 RBI, 1 walk.
I need to answer them. Hello?
Checks runner at first. Runner was safe.
For the delivery today? It's, we're in 302. You can just leave it right out the door and I'll come out.
Here's the pitch. Outside, 1-1.
302. Alright, thank you so much. Yeah. Had to make sure this time. Let him think I'm home.
Here's the
No,
pitch.
but I was realizing, I was going to let
1-2 count.
voicemail, but then I realized my mom actually told me, she was like, oh, there's something being delivered to your house tomorrow as well. Now I need to call her just to make sure. Tell her to change the primary address.
1-2 count.
I don't know how that happened because we have different Amazon accounts.
Here's the pitch. Swung on, popped to the left side,
But I'm pretty sure she told me yesterday. Oh, by
and
the
it
way,
will
that's-
fall into the Tiger bullpen.
So, I'm gonna call her to double check. Hey, did you tell me yesterday that something else was being delivered to my house today as well?
1-2 count, 2 outs for Frank Kazanko. Kearney sets on the mound.
Sweet.
Deal swung on, fouled to the left side.
You have another one coming? Mom, how many body armors do you order? Alright, well,
Frank Kazanko set in the
I
box.
appreciate the free body armor.
Kearney set on the mound. Swung on, foul ball. One, 2 count.
Yeah, I told him to put outside my door. No one's gonna
Checks the
steal-
runner at
steal
first.
the, thing.
Safe.
Alright, did you change the address?
1-2 count.
Okay.
Kearney looks in.
They're in transit coming. Okay, thank you.
Here's the pitch. Swung on, foul.
Oh, woman. Mom, she was like, I get it.
Frank Kazanko set. Here's the pitch. Swung on, popped up
Drinks one every day.
into left center, caught for the 3rd out. We'll be back just a minute here on Flow Sports.
My mom.
Into the game, number 45, senior Matt Likas. Likas warming up here. Top of the 7th, Towson leads 7-1. Waiting for the signal from the umpire. Now batting, number 13, designated hitter Jay Bant.
Number 13, Jay Bant.
Likas coming into this one, 7.90 ERA. Here's the pitch, swung on, fouled to the right side. Bant set in the box. Likas set on the mound, kicks, swinging, strike 2. 0-2 count now. No 2 count. Here's the pitch. Outside. 1-2.
Warming up in the bullpen for Monmouth, number 10, Jake Howlett. In the bullpen for Monmouth, 10, Howlett.
Here's the pitch. Outside. Bullpen movement from Monmouth here. Number 10, Jake Howlett, freshman. Likas kicks and deals. Inside. A good eye from Bant. Works it back to a 3-2 count. Here's the pitch. Called strike 3 looking.
Now batting the left fielder, number 9, Chris Andrews.
Now batting Chris Andrews. Andrews, one of the threats to run for this Hawks team. His stealing numbers are career high. Here's the pitch. Called inside, 1-0 count. Chris Andrews' on base percentage coming into the game was .423. Here's the pitch, swung on, fouled. Andrews today, 1 at bat, 1 walk. Here's the pitch. Outside. 2-1 count. 2-1, top of the 7th, 1 out. Towson up by 6. Here's the pitch. Swinging, strike 2.
UNCW has now had 2 pitchers that won a national pitcher award. That's kind of scary.
Here's the pitch. Called outside, 3-2 now. Likas sets the pitch. Outside, and he walks it. That's going to be the second walk for Andrews.
Now batting the first baseman, number 2, Chris Walsh.
Now batting Chris Walsh. Walsh steps into the box. Lycus looks in. Here's the pitch. Swung on to third. Throw to second. Throw to first is not in time.
Oh, I have force play slide interference at second base. It's interference, so it'll just be 5-4 as we put out.
That will
So would it wouldn't be grounded to a double play, but it'd still be a double play tag on it.
Yes.
Double play, he's out.
call the double play
Wait a second.
due to interference.
Oh, I don't love this. Okay, so safe is first on the fielder's choice, then
Innings over. This isn't going to be overruled.
We'll be back here in just a minute on Flow Sports. 7-1, Tigers lead. Welcome back. Up to bat, Max D'Alessandro. Currently tied with the Towson record holder with 6 hits. This happened back on Wednesday, March 19th versus Massachusetts. Here's the pitch. That one is outside for a ball.
Him, the difference is the IBB.
Go back to the other camera. Oh, never mind.
Pitch popped up into center field for the out.
Now batting the catcher, number 17, Brian Heckelman.
Now batting, Brian Heckelman. Neely sets and deals. Swung on. Popped into left field and caught for the out.
Now batting the right fielder, number 7, Tay Robinson.
Tay Robinson up to bat. Here, 1 out remaining in the bottom of the 7th. Here's the pitch. Swung on, fouled to the right side. Looks in. Here's the pitch. One count. Here's the pitch. Swung on. Grounder to short. Throw to first to end the inning. We'll be back here in just a minute on Flow Sports. Welcome back here, top of the eighth. Tigers lead 7-1.
Looks like 33. No, he's going to pitch it somewhere.
Yeah, Lavarco's still back. Lavarco will lead off for sure. Leading off for Monmouth, the right fielder number 24, Nick Lavarco.
Nick Lavarco leading off here in the top of the eighth. Down by 6. Monmouth needs to get their scoring started. They scored a run back in the first, but that's about all there was. Here's the pitch. Call it a strike. Outside, 1-1 count. Pitch. Call the ball, 2-1. Movement in the Monmouth bullpen. Here's the pitch. Oh, and it hits him. Going to be a mound visit here for the Tigers.
Warming up in the bullpen for Monmouth is number 46, Jimmy Wigo. In the bullpen for Monmouth, 46, Wigo.
Now batting the third baseman number 3, Wyatt Hunt.
Now batting Wyatt Hunt. Runner on first.
Pinch hitter for Monmouth on deck 33, Simi Whitehill. They'll be for Ducks.
Here's the pitch. Called a strike. A 1 count. That one is inside. 1-1. 1-1 count. No outs. Runner on first. Lakis kicks and deals. Called 2-1. Here's the pitch. Swung on, back off the leg of Lycus, thrown to first for the out.
Runner advances to second base. Now we're going to try a pinch hitter. For Monmouth, it is 33 as a pinch hitter.
Nick Lavarco to second. And that will bring up Simi Whitehill, pinch hitting for Shane Ducks.
Pinch hitting for the Hawks, number 33, Simi Whitehill.
Simi Whitehill, 400 batting average. Bats left. He's facing Lycus. Here's the pitch. Called the ball, 1-0. 1-0 count. Runner on second, one out here in the top of the eighth. Here comes the pitch. Outside, 2-0. Pitch, swung on, foul back.
Stretching a little bit. Getting loosey-goosey.
See what I'm saying?
Here's the pitch. Tapped foul. 2-2 count now. Lycus checks the runner, sets, deals, swinging, strike three.
Is it Schmidt again?
No, pinch hitter 11, Brett Schneider.
11 for 26 as a pinch hitter.
No, it's Brett. No. The last name is just Brett Schneider.
Now coming in to pinch hit, number 11, Aiden Brett Schneider. Batting 167 average. Bats right, coming in to face Lycus. He is pinch hitting
Pinch hitting for the
for
Hawks,
Andrew
number 11,
Schmidt.
Aiden Brett
Schmid.
Schneider.
Here comes the pitch. On inside, call the ball. 2 outs, top of the eighth. Towson leads by 6. Runner on second for Brett Schneider. Runner checked at second. Here's the pitch. Swung on. Bounced, popped to short. Thrown to first for the out. 2 up for the Tigers. Matheson, Aholt, Bishop will be back here in just a minute on Flow Sports. Brady
Leading off for
Nathanson
the
leading us
Tigers,
off.
the left fielder, number
And some
14,
defensive
Brady Nathanson.
changes for the Hawks. Kenny No, number 22, in at short. And here's the pitch. Call the strike. And in at catcher, Brendan Bucker, number 12. Here's the pitch. Called. Strike 2. 0-2 count. No outs here. Bottom of the 8th.
Number 23, Nate Naples.
Here's the pitch. Called high. 1-2. One-two count. Here's the pitch. Swung on, fouled to the right side. Here's the pitch. Swinging. Strike 3.
Warming up in the bullpen for Towson's number 23, Nate Naples. In the bullpen for Towson, 23 Naples.
Now batting the center fielder, number 19, Brett Ahalt.
Now batting, Brett Ahalt. Here's the pitch. Called outside. The pitch. Called outside again. Ahalt set in the box. Keneally on the mound. Swung on, fouled back. Two, one out. Bottom of the 8th. Towson 7, Monmouth 1. Called. Strike 2. Here's the pitch to Ahalt. Ball 3. Full count for Brett Ahalt. Senior came into this game batting .217. 1 for 2 today. 1 run, 1 strikeout. Here's the pitch. Swung on. Pop fly. Foul ball. Ahalt in the box. Here's the pitch. Called. Strike 3 looking.
Now batting the third baseman, number 8, Casey Bishop.
Now batting number 8, third base, Casey Bishop. Here's the pitch to Bishop. It is outside. Keneally steps, looks in, and sets. Fires that one outside. 2-0 count to Bishop. Bishop, an OBP of 311 coming into the game. Here's the pitch. Called a strike, 2-1. And the pitch. Inside, 3-1. Three-one count. Pitch is swung on, flied, and caught in right field for the final out of the inning. Coming into the top of the ninth. Padden, Caulfield,
That's an
Bant.
eighth inning. The score is
Due up.
Towson 7, Monmouth.
Welcome back here to John B. Sure Holmes Park. Top of the ninth. Harry Padden up to bat.
Leading off for the Hawks, the center fielder number 14, Harry Padden.
57 walks and hits.
0-1 count. Here's the pitch. Called outside, 1-1. Pitch is swung on. Popped up to the right side. And caught for the first out of the inning.
Now batting the second baseman, number 1, Casey Caulfield.
Now batting Casey Caulfield. Comes into this one. He's reached base in 20 straight games. Here's the pitch. Called a strike one.
Lycus would be in line for the save.
Lycus sets, steps, deals, strike two. Here's the pitch. Swung on. And that is a base hit for Casey Caulfield. He will stay at first.
Now batting the designated hitter, number 13, Jay Bant.
Now batting Jay Bant, designated hitter. Caulfield will reach base. That will make it 21 straight games. Here's the pitch. Called the ball. 1-0 count. Lycus looking for his first save of the year. Here's the pitch. Swung on. Popped up to center field. Tracking back. Caught at the track. Now we'll make it 2 outs.
Now batting the left fielder, number 9, Chris Andrews.
2 outs. Chris Andrews needs to keep the inning alive and wants to keep his 9-game hit streak alive. Lycus Looks in. Sets. Here comes the pitch. Runner goes uncontested to second. 1-0 count. Andrews, 2 walks today, 1 at bat. Credited. Here's the pitch. High, 2-0. Likas only 1 hit allowed today, 2 strikeouts, 1 walk. 2.2 innings pitched. Sets, deals, strike 1, 2-1 count, 2 outs, top 9. Towson leads 7-1. Five seconds left on the clock. The pitch. That is a passed ball. 3-1. 3-1 on the pass ball.
Yeah, it looked like it hit him in the glove, yeah.
Oh, no, it's a pass ball. I just wondered. I wondered if he also lost his strike.
Here's the pitch. Swung on, foul, 3-2 count. Full count. Andrews looking to keep the streak alive. Wants to knock in a run and start some hitting for the Hawks. The pitch. Swung on, popped, picked it short, thrown to first, called out, and that will end it. The Tigers win it in 9-7-1 over Monmouth.
Towson 7, Monmouth 1.
Thank you for your time. My name is John Daly. We will see you tomorrow.
To continue